It was only a matter of time, really, before the girls got to this point. Thinking back on it, neither of them can ever recall having a real full-blown argument, anything like this. Through all the years, Sherry has held her tongue so she could stay close to Alani to try and learn and mimic her. And Alani has held her tongue to try to keep the promise she made to her grandfather. It really was only a matter of time. After the incident with the rabbits, Alani threw herself into practicing magic. She would get up early, disappear into the woods, put up her barriers, and be out there until lunch. She'd go in town, get something to eat, and go right back out into the woods. However, during her training alone, she couldn't tell if she was really making any progress. So, she started bothering Sherry to come out there with her, so they could both train together. Sherry lied and told Alani she wants to train on her own for a while. Alani knew she was lying, but decided to give Sherry some space for a few days and try again later. Alani went to visit the witch and asked how she could move forward in her training. She took that information and went to find Sherry and tried to share it with her. It was that moment Sherry snapped, deciding to be very upset, claiming that Alani was pushing her too much and she knows how she gets when she's overwhelmed with things. Alani pointed out that Gazi survived a kamikaze phoenix. They need to train. Sherry tries to brush it off. They didn't know if it was really a phoenix. Alani's patience had finally fallen. She yelled at Sherry, telling her this was all her fault. But not to worry, because she won't blame her. She never blames her. She'll blame herself for not telling Sherry to put the stick back down, for not telling Sherry to leave it back at the empty lot. Sherry claimed if Alani didn't go into the house in the first place, she wouldn't have noticed it coming out of the house. She told Alani they definitely wouldn't be in the situation if she wasn't trying so hard to appease her father by taking Samson trick-or-treating. They would have been somewhere else entirely. Alani screamed Sherry had no idea how it was to have a younger sibling and how to be there for that younger sibling when their parents are getting a divorce. Sherry, for some reason, stated Alani is lucky her parents are getting a divorce. Alani, without any more words to give, slapped Sherry. Neither girl knew what to say after that. They had never found themselves at such odds with it. Alani was the first to walk away. She didn't even look back. She doesn't think Sherry has ever seen her cry before. Zarifa has a nasty scar forming on her right shoulder going down her back from when Gazi attacked her while escaping the freezer. It's red and purple and stitched closed under some bandages. It will take weeks, maybe a few months, to completely heal and stop aching. Zarifa doesn't hold it against Sherry. She's only there in Sherry's room to ask her what she's going to do about this. She's heard Alani's side of the story of their little falling out and came here to hear Sherry's. Sherry wonders why Zarifa even cares. She tells Zarifa she's better off just training Alani anyway. Alani has always been a bit of a golden child, especially compared to Sherry. Zarifa rolls her eyes and crosses her arms. It's been so long for her. She had forgotten how it was to be a teenager. How everything at the time seemed so big and hit so hard. A part of her wants to commiserate with Sherry. Zarifa wasn't some grade A student herself. She was actually quite the troublemaker coming from a troubled background. But she grew up, and luckily she grew out of it. She wants to comfort Sherry, but she also wants to scold both of them. They don't have time for this. Unfortunately, though, Zarifa realizes they will have to make time for this. The last thing she tells Sherry before leaving her be is that the loot can last for as long as they need, but Gazi's patience will not. She tells her straight that she and Lonnie need to figure this out sooner than later. Zarifa tells her that until they make up, she expects them to train separately and that she would be checking in on them. A look of annoyance crosses Sherry's face. Sherry asks why can't Zarifa just do everything? She's already a full-fledged witch. Zarifa tells her training isn't necessarily because she needs help. Where she's from, the first witch that comes across a fledgling witch is to be that witch's mentor. They believe it is a part of fate set up by the gods. That's why she took it upon herself to give them the tools they need to train and to check in on them. If she wasn't busy creating the spell to kill Gazi, she would be more hands-on with their training. Before Sherry can say any more, Zarifa stops her. She tells her just to go to bed and sleep off some of her worry. Not realizing how tired she is, Sherry finds herself in the light of morning. She grabs her phone and turns off the alarm, and sees that it is still Halloween.